So I also built a pinball machine. So this time I focused more on a virtual pinball machine, unlike Cody's very physical one. My primary goal was I wanted to be able to play classic pinball games that I used to play as a kid growing up. And I was also hoping to have some sort of physical machine that I could maybe bring to the next game jam. And if someone wanted to build something that fit on a, with pinball type controls and a vertical type screen, then they would have a platform to develop on. So right now, my interface is a cardboard box with a bunch of arcade buttons in it and a monitor just sitting on top of it. And I've got it wired up. I don't know if anyone here is from the mechanical keyboard community. I'm running the QMK mechanical keyboard firmware, which has a bunch of fancy effects with like LEDs and stuff. So I'm gonna press a button, lights shoot all over the place, which is pretty cool. And just out of serendipity, the Epic Games Store game this week was a pinball game that happens to have a vertical mode, so I can actually play it on my pinball machine. So unpause here, and you can't really see the screen great, but yeah. So if anyone hasn't got it yet, they want to play pinball, go grab that from the Epic Store. It's an indie game, which is cool. It's kind of a bullet hell game crossed with a pinball game, and yeah. So that's my cool, fun project. Hopefully I can bring it up to some jams and meetups. Oh, and if anyone's curious, it's all running off of a little circuit board down here. Just a little tiny thing with the USB cable coming off of it. And just a few wires going to all the buttons and the lights. Nothing too crazy. But yeah. And then, oh yes, I have one more thing to share. I'm going to stop sharing the camera. I'm going to share something on my screen. I didn't have time or workshop space to actually build a physical cabinet for this, but I have some concept art for what I would like it to look like. Just share my other screen here. Yeah, so this is, I figured the thing's going to be a small, like a single screen at a certain angle that happens to be roughly the same angle as a pinball flipper. So I'm hoping to make this thing look like a little pinball flipper that I can carry around various places. So yeah.
Looks like you can customize it so that you can have different pinball setups in the same machine, sort of like the Winnitron or whatever it's called.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a big virtual pinball community out there. They typically have a very specific setup that they're trying to create, where they're trying to replicate exactly a physical pinball machine. So I'm super grateful that their software is out there and exists, but I didn't care that much about recreating a real machine. Let me share my camera again here. So if I swap over to that other software here. Oops. Let's see. Quit to menu. Quit game. Yeah, so just as an example, let's launch some other pinball table. So most people, what they set up is for the actual pinball machines that you see in arcades, you have like your play field on the the flat spot. Then you'll have a back glass with art as well as your scoreboard. So most people set up 3 LCD screens so they can get all 3 of those elements set up. I didn't want to deal with 3 screens set up. So instead I got this ultra-wide monitor. And so I've got a little bit of extra space at the top that most virtual pinball machines don't have. And I put my scoreboard there. So I don't have the art, but I can have the scoreboard and the play field in the same spot. And for anyone that wants to create a pinball game but doesn't want to go crazy into game engines for doing custom stuff, Visual Pinball is an open source tool that most of these free pinball table recreations are made in, but you can make original tables in there too. So that's a resource that you can go into. Let's try Attack from Mars. This is a nice looking table. It's not too crazy looking. So give it a second to load up here. There's hundreds of these tables you can get online. It's pretty great. And then there's software you can get to launch all these pinball machines. You can load whatever software you want to. It doesn't have to just be this stuff. So in theory, you could load in your custom indie stuff as well. So yeah, here I've got my regular play field, and I've got a little space at the top left over for digital scoreboard. So